You are listening to the Keep the Weight Off podcast with Dr. Angela, episode number 73.
Welcome to the Keep the Weight Off podcast, where we bust all the dieting myths and discover not just how to lose weight, but more importantly, how to keep it off. We go way beyond the food, and we use science and psychology to give you strategies that work. And now your host, Dr. Angela Zechmann.
All right, so welcome back to the podcast, everyone. And hey, Marchelle, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
You are fully recovered from COVID now, yeah?
Oh yeah, I have been for days. I feel great. Actually.
Good. Okay, awesome. So, you know what we've been doing? We've been doing a Sugar Busters Kickstart challenge in Facebook, and if you didn't hear about it, I hosted this challenge on Facebook last week, where I really focused on sugar and flour, and the participants have just been blowing me away with their focus and their understanding of what I was teaching them about how sugar and flour affect the body, and more importantly, why, and what we can do about it, and how we can get ourselves healthy again. And it was absolutely fantastic. On the last day of the challenge, I prepared everyone with the steps that they needed to get off sugar, and I encouraged everyone to set a quit date. And many of our participants are actually quitting this week, so they're in that stage right now. So where they're going through the withdrawal, And so I just want to say to all of you who participated in the challenge, congratulations. And for those of you who are in sugar withdrawal right now, and when I say sugar, I mean sugar and flour, because basically they affect the body in the same way. So I just want all of you to know, if you're in the withdrawal phase right now, this is the hard part. We're here with you. We're supporting you. And if you can get through this week, your life is going to be amazing and golden from now on. So keep up the hard work. Marchelle, do you remember when you were going through this?
Yes, I do. I would just like to say congratulations to everybody who is doing this. And it was hard, but I felt so much better after the first week.
Yes.
It's so worth it. Congratulations to everybody who's doing it.
It's so worth it, for sure. The other thing that happened is that I opened up the doors to empowered weight loss. And Empowered Weight Loss is my online program where I teach our members everything, and I do mean everything, that they need to lose weight and keep it off. And we've had so many that have joined us, and I'm absolutely thrilled, because each person who joins us is one more person in this world who will stop struggling with their weight, who will stop being a victim of the food industry and of our crazy sugar and flour obsessed society, and will come out on the other side with a completely different mindset about who they are and what's possible in life. And that is just absolutely thrilling to me. So it's so thrilling when people recognize the confidence and clarity that they gain when they end this obsession with food and weight. I mean, imagine knowing that you can just go to your closet and pick out anything and know it's going to fit.
That's the best feeling ever. I remember when it took me about 3 years of losing fat before I really felt comfortable.
Yeah.
And, because I was on that journey, and, when you're on the journey, I feel like you're really focused.
Yeah.
And then once I got to this place where I got to go in my closet and I felt comfortable wearing anything, that was such a freeing feel. I felt so good in my own body for the first time, and I can't even remember.
Yeah.
And and I just hope that if we can I wish we could reach everyone in America.
Yeah.
And just teach them this information that you're sharing, because it's a life changer.
It really is.
For sure. Yep.
Well, and so many people, they will hide from getting pictures taken. And it's like, you look back at the pictures years later and they're like, well, where's mom? Mom's been behind the camera. Mom's refusing to be in the pictures. Or, the family will be doing some sort of hike or boating trip or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I just don't feel comfortable being there. I'm worried that I'm going to slow everybody down or whatever it might be. And it's just like, when you get into empowered weight loss and you learn the skills that it takes to not just lose the weight, but really keep it off, you're a participant in your life again. And that's good, not just for you, but that's good for everybody who loves you too. So you come out, we do a lot of deep work in it. We really do. It's not easy, but you come out on the other side with a whole new capacity to love your life and to be present in your life and in your world. And you're able to participate instead of hanging out on the sidelines. Like one woman in the challenge said she felt like a kitten chasing her tail. So she said her sugar cravings kept her chasing her tail, but she was never satisfied. So imagine what it would be like to no longer be hanging out on the sidelines of your life, chasing your tail like that. It's just a really cool place to be. So and
the doctor's not talking about the next diet that you need to get on. This is so much more than that.
Exactly.
And I just hope that anybody who's listening, just give yourself a chance and the opportunity to change your life for good. Because once you know this information, you don't ever unknow it. And so just
true.
Do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Well, so depending on where you're at, and we're going to talk about the stages of change, but I want you to know that if you're interested in all of this, we made the challenge recordings available. So I did about half an hour to an hour worth of teaching in the challenge, and the recordings are available for people who weren't able to attend live. And so I made the challenge recordings available. I also put together a digital collection of 30 recipes that I curated. And I call this my Give Your Pancreas a Vacation recipe collection. Now, many people have never heard of the pancreas. They have no idea what it is or what it does. So you'll have to watch the recordings to find out. But most people don't know that this is one of the most important organs in your body. And in most people, it's pretty stressed out. So if you're interested in the challenge recordings and the Give Your Pancreas a Vacation recipe collection, just go to journeybeyondweightloss.com/VIP upgrade. And we'll put that link in the show notes. So that if you're interested in the challenge recordings and the recipe, you can just go there and get that. And if you're like, hey, Dr. Angela, you know what? You're making a lot of sense here. I'm ready to join Empowered Weight Loss. Sign me up. Then just go to journeybeyondweightloss.com/join EWL. EWL, get it, Empowered Weight Loss. And then you can read all about it and sign up for the plan that works best for you if you're ready to join us. And I would encourage you to. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to talk a little bit about the process of change and learning that we go through when we decide to do something like change the way we eat and get healthy. These stages of change were developed by a research team named Prochaska and DiClemente. Probably, I'm guessing, sometime in the 80s or early 90s. I actually heard DiClemente speak at a conference during residency, and I felt like a fangirl at the time. I was just in the audience, just completely centered and focused. I admire these two so much. So they developed what they called the 5 stages of change. And so I want to go through each of these stages so you all know. And you can think about where you are and place yourself where you are in your journey of change. So the first stage of change is called pre-contemplation. And what this means is that you do not have any desire to change at all. So you don't see any problems. So let's say you're a smoker and you enjoy smoking and you see no problem with it at all. You're in the pre-contemplation stage. Okay?
That was me from about the age 15 to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in total denial. I had no idea what I was doing to my body. I did not even know what my pancreas was. I was drinking like 6 sodas a day at least. And just living on Pepsi and cigarettes. And I just thought I was totally invincible. And then all of a sudden 30 hit and things started to change. And that's when I went into the next stage.
The next stage. Okay. So the second stage, is called contemplation. So this means that you're starting to think that you might want to make a change. So if you're a smoker, for example, you might start to be worried about your nagging cough or the possibility of developing lung cancer or all the money that you're spending on cigarettes. If you're someone with a disease of obesity, you might be starting to get frustrated with the weight gain or with the aching joints, or you might start to get worried about your blood sugar or your high blood pressure. So you're thinking about making a change, but you're not really actually ready to do it yet. So Marchelle, you're saying this was you in your early 30s?
Yeah. So that's when I started, thinking about, well, man, I don't think that, I'm doing the right things. And I probably shouldn't be drinking this much soda. And I probably shouldn't starve myself to, I just started questioning the things that I was doing because I did always have this negative self-talk going on in my head, most of my life. Like, I don't know if anybody's heard, the previous podcast on Marshall's story, but I explain in there, just how I really suffered with being overweight.
Yeah.
But also I didn't know how, I didn't know what to do except for, all the latest bad diets and whatnot. I'm sure everybody's gone through that.
Yeah.
But, when I turned 30, I started thinking like, I got to do something about this. But then once I thought that, that's when I started buying into the Jenny Craig diets and Weight Watchers and, like, I'm going to get serious about losing weight and, I can do anything for 30 days.
Yeah.
And I would lose weight and then I would gain it right back after I stopped. And it's not sustainable. None of those programs are sustainable, just an FYI.
Yeah.
And they're not meant to be. And so
that's I love what you just said. They're not meant to be sustainable. That is so true. Oh my gosh.
Well, if they were, then they wouldn't make any money.
Yeah.
If they just cured everybody. So, they're not meant to be successful. So, but, I didn't know that. And I just kept trying and failing, and I went through my whole 30s doing that. And I just felt really out of control. I had no idea that obesity was a disease. I just thought I was broken. And I thought that I had messed up my metabolism and, my brain was broken because I could never say no. I'd wake up on a diet and then I'd go to sleep as a failure and I'd wake up, I'll do it tomorrow,
Right. Yeah.
And then, and so I'm sure that I'm not the only one that has gone through this. And like I said, I think age has a lot to do with it because, when you're young, there's a lot of liberties you can take, because your body is very resilient when you're young. And so, when I hit 30, I wanted to change. And then I didn't know where to go and what to do. So I wasted a lot of money and felt really broken by the time that I met you. And started working at the clinic, and it has just completely changed my life. Like I had no idea that I could be free from all of the depression and stress that comes with feeling overweight and not being comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
And hiding and wearing those clothes that, I'd wear baggy clothes all the time. I didn't want anyone to look at me and I didn't want to be in pictures. And when I saw pictures of myself, I was mortified.
Yeah.
And so, if you're struggling with that, you really just need to get on board with this and give yourself a chance to be happy because this is meant for success. This is sustainable weight loss. It's right. What this podcast is called is Keep the Weight Off.
Right. It's named very deliberately. Keep the weight off. Right. Yeah. Right. So when you were in your 30s, then you started in the contemplation stage. You were no longer at that. I am invincible and I can just do whatever I want. You're like, hey, wait a minute. There's some issues here going on. So then you went into preparation stage. This is the third stage, is preparation. So this is when you were starting to look at all the different diets and you really want to change, and you're trying to figure out the best way to do it. So, for example, if you're a smoker, you might be looking into smoking cessation programs, or you might call your doctor for an appointment for medications that will help you to quit. If you have obesity, unfortunately, what most people do, which is what happened to Marchelle, is they start thinking about some sort of diet. So they're researching whether they want to try one of the latest fads. And most people don't realize that they have a disease. And most healthcare professionals don't realize that either, frankly. And so they will tell people who ask them, who are sort of in that preparation phase, oh, well, yeah, just reduce your calorie intake, push yourself away from the table, go join the gym, burn some calories off. This is advice. I was just talking to my cousin's husband. I'm in Minnesota visiting family. And he was telling me that his cardiologist was giving him all of this weight loss advice. And it just sounded exactly like that standard, push yourself away from the table and go exercise.
Yeah. So exercise more.
Exactly.
It's simple. Just go do it.
Yeah. Right. So that's the third stage, is the preparation stage, where you're sort of looking for information to see about how you could possibly be making that change. Then there's the fourth stage, which is the action stage. So by the time people make an appointment in our clinic, they are in the action stage. And if you think about our challenge participants, our Sugar Busters Kickstart Challenge participants, they were somewhere between preparation and action. So if you think about it, I've got a really big email list now, but there were plenty of people on that email list that did not join the challenge. And why would that be? Well, it's because they weren't in the preparation or action stage yet, which is fine, because I'll just keep doing more challenges. And every time I do one, those who have moved into the action stage will join us. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes. And then when they're really ready to make major changes and go all in, they'll join us in Empowered Weight Loss. Okay.
Yeah. And unfortunately, by the time that people join Empower Weight Loss or come to the clinic, they come in feeling defeated, and they've tried everything else out there. And that is so unfortunate, because honestly, skip all that bullshit. Just do this, because I've done all that. I can tell you it doesn't work. Yeah. And just do this, because this works.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's the fifth stage of change. So action is where you're actually doing everything to lose weight. Then there's the fifth stage of change, and that's maintenance. And that's deep learning about how to maintain the new behaviors. And that's what we work on very specifically in Empowered Weight Loss. So how do you maintain your new habits? What thoughts will serve you and what thoughts will derail you? And we do so much work on your thinking, because your thoughts actually create your reality. And I'm really proud of what we do in Empowered Weight Loss, because we're working with people at such deep levels and really serving them in their best interests. Okay. So that's the maintenance piece. And there's a lot to it. Now, for many years, Prochaska and DiClemente taught these 5 stages of change: pre-contemplation, contemplation, pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. And then they realized, hey, wait a minute. There's actually one more stage. There's a 6th stage, and we need to define this and take this into account. So what's the 6th stage? It's relapse, falling back into the old behaviors. When this happens for most people, what they do is they beat themselves up, right?
Yes.
And they don't understand that it's actually a normal process. So what I want everyone listening to know is that relapse is a normal part of the stages of change. Especially if life gets stressful, the brain is going to fall back into patterns that are more familiar and easier. And the classic example is the 2-year-old who just got potty trained. And then mom brings a new baby home. Imagine what that's like for a 2-year-old. Suddenly, mom is distracted. Mom is really busy. Mom's not paying attention to me anymore. This is very, very stressful for a young child. And so the child who was potty trained is suddenly back in diapers. the new behavior is not yet well enough ingrained, and the child's brain cannot manage the stress of this new baby in the home, and suddenly mom is super busy and isn't paying as much attention to him. And so the new behaviors go by the wayside for a bit until the child acclimates. So this new understanding really revolutionized our thinking when it comes to major lifestyle changes like quitting smoking or losing weight. Relapse happens frequently when someone comes under stress. And what I want everyone listening to know is that this is completely normal. When your brain is under stress, any new behavior will fall by the wayside while your brain attends to making sure that you survive. Because when stressful things happen, as far as your brain is concerned, it's that fight-flight response. And it's a normal survival instinct. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. And I just wanted to add that I think what everybody should know is that when she's talking about relapse, what that means, is you've been prepping your foods like you're supposed to do, and maybe you go on vacation, right? And like I do when I go on vacation, my brain wants to go on vacation and I want to eat my way through, the whole vacation time. And that can, for me, that can lead me down, a rabbit hole that is hard for me to come out of. And also what I wanted to clarify is that we're talking about sugar and flour. That's the relapse. And it's because sugar and flour has no nutritional value and it gives you this dopamine hit. So your brain gets addicted to it. And once you have that addiction, your brain never forgets it. And so if you have a situation where you're under stress or there's change and it's hard for you to handle, then your brain is going to go, hey, but if you just have a little of this, I can make you feel better.
Yes.
And that's going to be salt, sugar, and flour.
Yes.
So just to be
and fat.
Of that. And fat.
Mixed up with some fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is awesome because I really just want people to understand, okay, that there's 6 stages of change. There's the pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, and relapse. So everyone listening to this podcast, since this is called the Keep the Weight Off podcast, ask yourself, where are you in this process? What stage are you at? I think we can pretty much assume that you're not in the pre-contemplation stage, or you would not be interested in listening to this at all. So perhaps you're in contemplation or preparation or action, or maybe you're in maintenance, or maybe you're in relapse. Wherever you are, I want you to know that we're here for you and we're really glad you're listening. And if you happen to be in the action stage, we'd love to have you join us in Empowered Weight Loss, because this is what's going to give you real, true, lasting results. It's not a diet. I teach you how to eat to fuel your body and to reset your metabolism, but you're not going to just go on a diet and then be done with it. Like, we're done with dieting here. So I'm teaching you all of these other skills. So if you're interested in Empowered Weight Loss, the website to go to is journeybeyondweightloss.com/join EWL. And we would love to see you on the inside. Cool, huh, Marchelle?
Yeah, I just want to say again, just do it.
Yeah, like there's no reason not to, really.
No, there is no reason not to.
If you're at that, preparation action stage, this is your next step. It really is. So awesome.
Definitely. It's a lifestyle change, guys. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change, and you just need to do it. You'll feel so much better. It's worth it.
You will. Yeah. All right. So that's all for this week. Take care, everyone. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, if you really want to lose weight and keep it off for good, your next step is to sign up for Dr. Angela's free weight loss course, where you're going to learn everything you need to get started on your weight loss journey the right way. Just head over to journeybeyondweightloss.com/free course to sign up. Also, it would be awesome if you could take a few moments and write a review on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you in Journey Beyond Weight Loss.